release on that premise, and that's what we needed. We needed to not be...
The way that I feel about it, and I know Christine feels different, and everybody feels different.
But I'm not
Cody
where Christine is, and I'm still
See
sort
the
of
world
like...
the same way. Probably from the very first days we were married, it was always...
Kody actually grew up in Wyoming, she said on the May 11th episode. My mother was married to Kody's father. The Browns have deep roots in Wyoming. Both Kody's dad and my mom are buried there, and I want to bury Garrison next to my mom. She added, he was very much shaped by his experiences, going for the summer, working there on the ranch. The family decided to bury Garrison's ashes in a small cemetery that Janelle, who also shares kids Logan Brown, 31, Madison Brush, 29, Hunter Brown, 28, Gabriel Brown, 23, and Savannah Brown, 20, with Kody, said feels very Wyoming. The 56-year-old, who shared that she will eventually be buried alongside Garrison, noted that his tragic passing ultimately put some of the Brown family's ongoing strife to rest. Garrison's death has brought about some healing of relationships, which has been good, she said. Despite all of the flaws and problems that the adults had, we raised these kids that really do feel like they were siblings. That was our biggest goal because a lot of plural families raised them as separate households, she continued. Sometimes they don't even have anything to do with each other, but we really set out to make them siblings. I think we've been successful. For Kody, who had a strained relationship with Garrison for some time before his death, the opportunity to bury his ashes in Wyoming was a sense of pilgrimage. I want to take his remains, the patriarch, father to 18 kids with wife Robyn Brown as well as his exes Janelle, Meri Brown and Christine Brown, said. I want to take him home and I want to put him in the ground next to his grandma and grandpa. Kody, 56, saw the decision as a way to finish the circle. For more about the current season of Sister Wives, keep reading. Kody Brown insisted he was ready to divide himself from first wife Meri Brown shortly after their 1990 vows. But he led me to believe that he would work on things by saying, "Oh Meri, when we move to Flagstaff, this will be a good time to have a new beginning for us," Meri shared in the September 15th premiere, referencing their 2018 move. Like he led me to believe those things. This is what he's done for many years. Her main gripe, she shared, is his lack of communication and how he really felt and what he really wanted or what he really didn't want and the story that he's been telling for all these years. And while Kody acknowledged that there may have been mixed messages, it was only because as he started to work on things, I'm like, why would I do this, he explained. I would not court and date her now. Either way, Meri's friends were thrilled when she finally pulled the plug in early 2023. They're like, okay, we're here for you, we're supporting you. And it's about damn time, she confessed. Blinders off, she now feels that he had been trying to get her to walk away for years by insisting he didn't love her, because if he can push me out and I leave, he's not the bad guy because he didn't walk away. Years after the family purchased the 14-acre plot of land they planned to build on in Flagstaff, Arizona, Kody confessed in the season premiere that he was ready to let the dream wither. Unable to build without paying off the full $820,000 price tag, which the family reportedly did in 2023, he told remaining wife Robyn Brown, I'd almost rather scrap it or sell it and then just start again somewhere else. While second wife Janelle Brown previously told E! News, we just kind of started to grow apart. Ultimately it was Kody's lapses as a parent to some of their kids that pushed her to leave. The big spark for me was when his relationship broke down with my children and he didn't seem like he would move heaven and earth to fix it, explained the mom to Logan Brown, Madison Brown Brush, Hunter Brown, Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown and Savannah Brown. And I thought, okay, that was what was really holding me here. Kody Brown feels he's been excommunicated from his own family. That was the explanation Kody gave for not working harder to mend the rifts he was experiencing with several of his adult children. I don't fit in the family anymore, he griped in the September 15th episode. Noting he was still fully married to Robyn and parenting their 5 kids together, Dayton Brown, Aurora Brown, Brianna Brown, Solomon Brown and Oriella Brown, he added, and then I have some relationship with some of the other kids and it's infrequent. And so I'm like, what do I do with all of this? It doesn't feel like a family. Robyn Brown and Kody Brown's marriage was on shaky ground. Despite being truly monogamous for the first time in their 14-year union, we're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage, Robyn confessed in the season 19 premiere. It's been tough between us. He doesn't know who to blame, himself or one of the other wives. Kody's feeling a lot of rejection, and so I think is kind of looking at me going, "Are you going to reject me too?" As a result, she revealed, "I'm on my toes. I'm having to consistently make sure that he is not sabotaging our relationship. The hardest part," she summed up, "there's no resource to help with the idea that I'm still married to a man who's going through divorces." Kody, meanwhile, was having a crisis of confidence, sharing, "I can't look myself in the mirror and say, 'Hey, dude, I love you.'" For Robyn, it was a struggle to watch her former sister wives embrace their new era. "They're all moving on," she noted in the October 27th episode. "I feel like the idiot that got left behind." Add Janelle's eldest daughter Madison to the list of kids Kody doesn't currently have a relationship with. "I know that Maddie has not had any conversations with her dad," Janelle explained during the premiere. "He's not called, she's not called him, and she doesn't have any relationship with Robyn. She's pretty much written them both off." At issue, said Janelle, is Kody having a half-hearted relationship with Maddie's kids Axel, Evangeline, and Josephine. She doesn't really want him to have any contact unless he can commit to it. As a result, Janelle shared in the September 22nd episode, Kody did sort of cut off communication with Maddie and her husband Caleb Brush, whose sister was married to Kody's brother, when the family started to really dissolve. With Kody not visiting or calling, Maddie has been mama bear to the extreme, added Janelle. She has felt like until he can be consistent and show up and not be dramatic that she feels like it's probably better if they don't know about him. And while Robyn noted she's been encouraging Kody to reach out and mend things, she said, "I think the kids should be doing the same thing, too." For now, though, Kody doesn't seem ready to repair the rift, griping that every time he spoke to his daughter, it was a fish for gossip and I got tired of it. Which is why, he said, he alluded to Meri that he never truly loved her while they were spending their anniversary together. Recounting the conversation to a pal in a September 2024 episode, Meri insisted she knew he loved her. But if he didn't, the mom to Leon Brown said in a confessional, why did he ever propose? When a single young man meets a single young woman, why would he choose to marry her and just affirm and force love for her when he didn't love her, she wondered. How cruel is that? To pick me out of a crowd and just be like, I pick you to try to force myself to love for the next 32 years. Kody's response, he shared in his own confessional, oh, Meri has her little accusations now. Though, he would share that they never enjoyed a honeymoon period. This marriage was on the rocks the entire marriage, he insisted on the October 20th episode. And how would I know that? Because I had such a better relationship with Janelle, with Christine, with Robyn. But he stayed out of fear, noting, leadership will never allow you to marry again if you're discarding wives. Though she was undecided on if she'd like to build on Coyote Pass or simply sell it off, Janelle noted that step one was paying off the Arizona property. And with Kody unwilling to talk to her about the situation, I think I'm going to have to lawyer up, she confessed to former sister wife Christine Brown in the September 22nd episode. Because I think that's the only way I'm ever going to get any kind of decision out of him. And Janelle acknowledged that without a legal marriage to Kody, I really have no legal rights to make any kind of claim on Kody's property. As she put it, it's not like I'm just calling a lawyer and saying I need to divorce this person. No, it's really complicated because there's no legal marriage. Kody's explanation for not talking with Janelle about their Arizona property is that he no longer trusted her. We will pay off the property when the time comes, he insisted in a confessional during the September 22nd episode, and I'm not giving you any details about what I'm doing or whatever because I'm tired of disclosing information that goes through the gossip mill of our broken family. A bit of a pot calling the kettle black, Janelle said in her own interview. He leaks like a sieve, she shared. He told me stuff about his other relationships and his other wives that I was like, I don't think you're supposed to be telling me that. Back when the family's love was still multiplying rather than dividing, they used to pool their money into one pot. We would use all the resources to help one person, then we would all rally to support the other person, Janelle explained on the September 22nd episode. That's how it always worked until the last 10 years or so. And all of a sudden it's been about my estate and everyone needs their own estate. So when Robyn was in need of a home in Arizona, They all pitched in to buy her $1.65 million 5-bedroom spread, which was listed for sale this past August. The intention was that it would be an asset for the family, said Robyn. But when Janelle suggested that they all put their names on the mortgage, she was rebuffed. Kody was like, no, we need to protect Robyn's estate, Janelle recalled. So now that she's extricating herself from the family, continued Janelle, she'd like her portion of the Coyote Pass proceeds, and I'd like to recoup some of the money I put into Robyn's house. We were working together for so long, noted Robyn. And with Janelle saying she's owed money from them, Robyn added, it's like, how do you calculate? How do you figure that out? It's so confusing. Be griping about the family's inability to pay off Coyote Pass. Janelle said Kody claimed to have all these other debts. And, yet, she's watched him snap up other assets like trailers and home decor. I see all the art on their walls, she said of Robyn and Kody's home. I see all these things. And that's fine, I have money and I've spent it on things, too. For his part, Kody said much of his cash went to buying cars, basically had a fleet, and insurance for the kids. And while Janelle acknowledged she wasn't sure how Kody and Robyn handled their finances, I used to always be surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely finished. And there was always, stuff at her house. And I was like, wow. And while Janelle acknowledged she wasn't sure how Kody and Robyn handled their finances, I used to always be surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely finished. And there was always, stuff at her house. And I was like, wow. Bottom line, she said, he doesn't prioritize what I need or what I want. And that issue eventually wore her down. I think after a while, I began to see it, and my kids were getting very angry about it, like my adult children. What the hell, Mom? Robyn's take, however, was that she was very careful with her budget after her first marriage fell apart. Used to be not so great with money, she shared during the September 22nd episode. When I was young, I had hard knocks, and then I learned during my divorce really how to budget myself very, very well. As for her fellow sister wives, she said, you just must have had a different priority of where your money was going to go than I did, that's at the moment, Janelle acknowledged in the September 22nd episode, while she and Christine, mom to Aspen Brown, Michael T. Brown Padrone, Paydon Brown, Gwendolyn Brown, Isabel Brown and Truly Brown get together with their broods, there's no contact, really, with Meri or Robyn or Kody. I don't really foresee that's going to change much. Calling their setup with 4 homes on one cul-de-sac during their stretch in Las Vegas the best time of my life, Kody said, everything was going along smoothly and Maddie and Caleb were around and it was great having them around. And I loved Caleb. He was definitely like family. But things started to fall apart in Arizona as they clashed over coronavirus-related precautions. Then when his marriages fell apart, he said, his bonds with the kids followed, it just made all those relationships go sour. But Christine insisted there were issues well before she announced she was leaving in late 2021. All the kids that were frustrated way before I left, she said on the September 22nd episode. My leaving didn't change his kids' relationship with him. Kody can still fix his relationships with his children. Though it'll definitely take some work. I'm so angry about how I've been treated that I haven't gotten past that, Kody explained. Here's the thing is I'm not willing to take blame for things that my wife or ex-wife is sitting there telling them that I did. I hope the time comes when the contempt will subside. We'll be able to find forgiveness and love again. Kody revealed he and Meri didn't know each other all that well when they wed both spiritually and legally at the age of 21 and 19, respectively. They eventually filed for divorce in 2014 so Kody could legally adopt Robyn's 3 eldest children from her first marriage. When we got married, she was very different and I think just there's some baggage that Meri had that I didn't know about, Kody explained. Initially, I felt like I could live with it. Claiming that everything was a fight, he said, I can't live in a world where she is constantly angry at me. Yet, he was unable to leave. A man, in plural marriage, said Kody, if he wants to stay faithful and in the faith, he cannot request a divorce. It's not allowed. So I was not able to get out of that relationship. At the same time, I didn't necessarily want out of the relationship. I wanted to know if we could save and fix it. hence the mixed messages. He acknowledged of Meri thinking they would work everything out. But, every time they were together, continued Kody, she wasn't nice, she wasn't fun, she wasn't kind, she wasn't interesting. I'm trying to be curious with her and I'm bored. Hence the mixed messages. He acknowledged of Meri thinking they would work everything out. But, every time they were together, continued Kody, she wasn't nice, she wasn't fun, she wasn't kind, she wasn't interesting. I'm trying to be curious with her and I'm bored. To be fair, he added, he could see why Meri felt abandoned, but I didn't kick me out. Christine, Janelle and Meri all chose to have me leave the home. When each of us 4 ladies married Kody, it was through our church, she explained in the September 22nd episode. Obviously we can't all be legally married, but it was what we called a covenant. So I feel like it's best to terminate that because we're not moving forward with any marriage and I don't want to be, sealed to him for eternity if he doesn't want me. And I'm at a place that, let's just separate this completely. Kody was resistant to the idea, she added, not wanting to acknowledge the authority of the church leaders. Kody was resistant to the idea, she added, not wanting to acknowledge the authority of the church leaders. The damage was done so badly that we're not going to reconcile no matter what, Kody explained of his stance. And so however, we are made accountable to God, I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Meri go and do her thing because if I'm angry at her it becomes a fight. And I needed her just to go away because it just took forever for her to finally realize it's been done and over for years. Text message discussion over a 2021 holiday gift exchange turned particularly ugly for the 18 Brown offspring. It all went bad, it all went south, detailed Christine. Kody and Robyn and their kids were on one side and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a split that happened after this text thread. Robyn's take was that her 3 older kids felt the exchange was emotionally unsafe and said they needed to take a step back from the relationship. But it was never anything about, we don't want to see you again, we don't want anything to do with you, she insisted. It was just about, hey, this got yucky. I have been told directly, multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted. Aurora insisted of coming into the family when her mom wed Kody in 2010, that I was not their sister, that they didn't consider or see me that way. And her sister Brianna said she felt the parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family and it never really happened. But Christine isn't sure how they could have opened their arms any wider. Robyn's kids and Robyn were invited to everything, she insisted. I would just say, just come into the house anytime you want. Kody actually grew up in Wyoming, she said on the May 11th episode. My mother was married to Kody's father. The Browns have deep roots in Wyoming. Both Kody's dad and my mom are buried there, and I want to bury Garrison next to my mom. She added, he was very much shaped by his experiences, going for the summer, working there on the ranch. The family decided to bury Garrison's ashes in a small cemetery that Janelle, who also shares kids Logan Brown, 31, Madison Brush, 29, Hunter Brown, 28, Gabriel Brown, 23, and Savannah Brown, 20, with Kody, said feels very Wyoming. The 56-year-old, who shared that she will eventually be buried alongside Garrison, noted that his tragic passing ultimately put some of the Brown family's ongoing strife to rest. Garrison's death has brought about some healing of relationships, which has been good, she said. Despite all of the flaws and problems that the adults had, we raised these kids that really do feel like they were siblings. That was our biggest goal because a lot of plural families raised them as separate households, she continued. Sometimes they don't even have anything to do with each other, but we really set out to make them siblings. I think we've been successful. For Kody, who had a strained relationship with Garrison for some time before his death, the opportunity to bury his ashes in Wyoming was a sense of pilgrimage. I want to take his remains, the patriarch, father to 18 kids with wife Robyn Brown as well as his exes Janelle, Meri Brown and Christine Brown, said. I want to take him home and I want to put him in the ground next to his grandma and grandpa. Kody, 56, saw the decision as a way to finish the circle. For more about the current season of Sister Wives, keep reading. Kody Brown insisted he was ready to divide himself from first wife Meri Brown shortly after their 1990 vows. But he led me to believe that he would work on things by saying, "Oh Meri, when we move to Flagstaff, this will be a good time to have a new beginning for us," Meri shared in the September 15th premiere, referencing their 2018 move. Like he led me to believe those things. This is what is done for many,